I say good morning, everybody. We are here for the October 5th construction planning meeting for downtown Syracuse. I say John Kivelhan is entering the room now as well. So just again, thank you everyone for tuning in. This is an opportunity for representatives from the city of Syracuse to provide an update on the various construction projects that are underway, but really appreciate the number of folks that have tuned in this morning. It's great to, if you have questions about the construction or certain timing associated with different components, to be able to ask the city folks that are on the line here today to get answers in real time. So appreciate everyone tuning in. Joe, we typically start off with the water department. Could you give us an update on your construction timelines and any areas that are underway currently?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. The water department has essentially finished all of their work on Jefferson Street in Montgomery. Last intersections we were tying up was Jefferson, Montgomery by Columbus Circle and Montgomery and Madison. I believe those have been completed and services have been reestablished. We replaced a couple other hydrants last week on those stretches, so we should be in good shape. We turned over the Jefferson Street block between South Warren and Montgomery over to National Grid. They're going to be finishing up their work and they can comment on that. The last piece of the puzzle we have to do is make our connection between Erie Boulevard and Water Street on Montgomery. And that'll be the last of the water department work. We still have to do a little bit of work right in front of City Hall to coordinate with the city IT department to install a new conduit. But other than that, water should be done. Any questions?
Are you excited to see the end in sight, Joe?
Yes, I am. I am very happy to see the end in sight. I'll be happy to clean up and get out of downtown and tackle the other stuff we got going on. But yes, it's been a long season, but I think it was well worth it. The effort we put in and the updates we've done, I think, is going to be seen for decades to come.
Thank you so much. Were any questions for Joe and the water department on what he just shared? Okay. John Kivelhan, could we have you go next with the construction projects with city engineering?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Update on State and Salina Street. The plan currently is Friday and Monday to top pave Salina Street from Fayette to Willow. It's right now they're just doing adjusting structures through there, and the plan, as I said when I last talked to the contractor, was to pave that stretch, and then that will really get us out of the downtown area. There's still ancillary work to get completed. 88 corners, brick snow strip. Don't have a schedule for that yet. The main thing is to get the paving done. 88 corners, and the restoration of surface behind that can occur because that's not as sensitive to weather as the paving is. And then after that, we'll jump over onto State Street and complete the paving on State Street. And then that would just leave one remaining section from Willow to North State on Salina to get paved. That's the update on that paving project.
John, when did you say you'd be moving over, the contractors would be moving over to State Street?
I did, and I don't have a schedule for that yet.
Oh,
right now, we're
okay.
just concentrating on Salina Street.
Got it. Thank you. Any questions for John on State or Salina Street specifically? We also have Mirza joining us, who oversees the remaining paving projects in downtown. So Mirza, could you give us an update on timing and blocks that will be a focus of work?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. So the rest of the streets are Clinton, Jefferson, Warren, and Montgomery. Clinton and Warren Street are pretty much right now, the only thing that needs to be done is pouring concrete for sidewalk and 88 corners, resetting the bricks, and that's going to happen this week and next week. So you'll see parking lane closures in certain blocks until that's completed. Main work for Barrett, our prime contractor, they're concentrating right now in full depth restoration at Jefferson and Montgomery intersection. So right where the Columbus Circle is. That's where the main work is for this week and probably the middle of next week as well. After that, they're be concentrating on ADA corners along Montgomery and rest of Jefferson, and sidewalk and brick pavers excavation and resetting. It is anticipated that we're milling rest of Jefferson and Montgomery in 2 weeks. And then following that, we'll put binder on that street. And then probably early to middle of November, we're planning on paving everything at once, which is first Clinton probably, then Warren, then Jefferson, and that's Montgomery. But I don't know the schedule yet for that. It all depends on the weather and on other utility companies finishing their work before we can even give you a date yet. Any questions?
Mears, I had a question about, you had mentioned for Clinton and Warren, just with some of the work that's going to be happening with the sidewalks and the brick reset, that we'd see some parking lane closures. Is it possible with the subcontractors to try to maximize the number of on-street parking spaces that are available at any one time? I mean, I understand the need to provide a safe work environment, just, with cars coming through, but is it possible to, again, try to allow for some on-street parking within those areas?
Yes, so I've talked to the contractor, and I'll talk to him again, but my understanding is he'll only close down parking areas where they're working at for the next week or so. After that, they'll remove it and, they'll have it open until they have to come again and, do work there. So he's aware of it. He'll accommodate business owners as much as he can. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll try our best as much as we can.
Are there any questions for Mirza? Okay. Chris, National Grid is underway on Jefferson Street. Could you give us an update on that project?
Yeah, so we are focusing on Jefferson and Montgomery, trying to get that wrapped up as quick as possible. The city's contractor helped us out by putting basically an empty pipe or a sleeve in Jefferson that we could insert our gas main in at a later time. So that helped with the road work there, and we're currently working both of those streets. We actually pulled a crew from another location within the city in an attempt to expedite those. Just an FYI, could be taking place even today, but this week we'll be replacing the top of a manhole structure on Warren Street adjacent to the Central Bus Hub. I don't think that should have too much impact. There's no on-street parking there. We are also renewing the service to a large customer at the intersection of Madison and Montgomery. That work is going to take place from October 13th through the 17th. We are going to have sidewalks blocked off and potentially some parking there, but it's a short period of time. The On Center has been notified because there's a concert there Sunday evening, and we should have our work completed and out of there in time for the concert. And then the last one, which is probably new, is there's a manhole we've identified that needs an extensive rebuild at Clinton and Jefferson Street. We're currently working on a scope of work, but I have been told that there's approximately a month's worth of work to rebuild that structure. So That's the one that we're currently trying to get a handle on and work through. And that should be everything for National Grid.
Chris, with the manhole at Clinton and Jefferson and at estimated 1 month time frame, what does that look like as far as vehicular and pedestrian access in that area?
Still to be determined.
And then I got a phone call yesterday, and so I think this is a National Grid question. The work underway on the 200 block of East Jefferson. Is there an estimated end frame? I think the residents there, what they communicated, had been told the work would be done last week, but the work is still underway. But I think it was maybe the city's work would be done last week, but the National Grid was the work that's currently underway. Do you have a time frame for when the 200 block of East Jefferson would be complete?
I can see what I can find out. All of our gas main projects really have 2 phases. One of them is getting the gas main in itself and tying it in and getting natural gas in it. And then the second part is tying in the individual services. In most cases, the main work can be pretty straightforward unless we run into some obstructions. The service work can be somewhat finicky because naturally we need to coordinate with the individual customers. And that's where you tend to find surprises, old stuff in the road, other utilities that are shallow, that type of thing. So it makes it very difficult to come up with a definitive time frame because we know what we would like to do, but there's always surprises that impact that. But Mirza, you've been talking with Todd Fox, but we're trying to get out of there in the next 2 to 3 weeks, correct?
For the manhole adjustments along Warren and Clinton, yes. For the main, it's I forgot his name now, but for the main Jamie, for main installation, he's saying for Montgomery and Jefferson, between Warren and Montgomery, they're saying about a month with
A month out, okay.
duration. So
Probably because they're focused on Montgomery since they started that. Get that done, gassed up, and the services converted, and then jump over to Jefferson. So
yeah, he has said you guys have 2 crews now. That's my understanding.
yes,
So,
we did bring a crew over. So
yeah, but yeah, it's still looking at early November for all of that work. That's my understanding.
yeah, and America, I mentioned to Mirza yesterday that we're all going to go bar hopping downtown when construction season is over.
The businesses will appreciate it.
Yeah, I was going to pick a specific bar, but I'm like, no, we can't play favorites. We got to visit all of them. So.
Spread the love. Okay. And thank you for bringing an additional crew in for Grid, I think, to help expedite that work. Are there any questions for National Grid with those blocks that had been mentioned? Okay. Eric, do you have anything you'd like to share with the group from the city?
No, just similar to what I've shared in the past. We will make sure that the city infrastructure is up to date, especially given some of the new information that we received today, and certainly would just encourage everyone to check back accordingly as we continue to get updates.
And while I have all of our city friends on the line, I will apologize because with our emails I have to send out, we're maximized at 100 emails per message. So the city folks may get like 5 versions of the same email just so we can email the 500 plus folks that are on the distribution list. So if you get multiple emails, it's not a mistake. It's just how we have to send things out. All right. Does anyone else have any general questions or comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to Mirza and Wesley, the superintendent, on the job on Warren. They did an awesome job communicating on our concrete pour, and I had 0 tenant complaints when our garage was closed for a few hours. So I just wanted to say thank you for letting me coordinate that so seamlessly.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, everybody. enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.